Before class starts, hit the New Event button, and here you can add your class name and add the date as well to make it easy to find. Once you've chosen your class name, go back to the main home screen, and this is where you can also add your event to a collection by clicking on Add to Collection. Here you can choose which collection to add your event into. In this case, let's choose Math, but you can choose a new collection at any time. Once you've added your event into a collection, you can then click on to the event itself. And if you've been given any slides by your professor beforehand, this is an opportune moment to add them into your event. So click Import Slides. Here you can then go into the slides that you want to pick, add them into your recording, and here you can then start to record the class. And we have different options for recording. So we have in person for if you are in a lecture hall and in person in class, or if you are taking a remote class, say over Zoom or asynchronous, we have the options for device audio and microphone, depending how you are participating in that class. For this example, let's choose in person and click the microphone option, and you'll see on the right hand side the audio is starting to be collected through these audio bubbles. Now you can add notes to your class. So go down to the text box at the bottom, click in here and add a note. That will then add that note into your notes feed in the center, but also timestamp that note with the audio on the right hand side. So anytime you write a note, it'll be timestamped to that moment of time in the class in the audio. We also have labels to help you identify any important parts of the class, or any parts of the class that you may want to review afterwards that you didn't quite understand. You're also able to move the slides along with the audio as well. So with the slides, you can click Post Next Slide, so the professor moves to slide 2, you can do that too. And you'll see that the audio then goes under the new heading, and there's also a new heading for your notes when you start to add them in. You can also use the arrow keys, the left and right of Post Next Slide button, should you wish to skip ahead to future slides. We also have live captions within Genio Notes. By going to the top left-hand corner, click on the Live Captions button, and you'll see that live captions begin to be generated. This allows for students to follow along with class, and live captions are available in over 30 different languages and can identify the speakers as well within the class. You can toggle these on and off at any time by going up to the Live Captions button. Once you've finished with the class, you can stop the recording at any time by going to the top left-hand corner and clicking on Stopped Recording. When the recording stopped, you then have a number of different options. You have the option to transcribe your audio into text by clicking on this button here, choosing the language that you'd like that to be in. You then have the outline as well, and once your transcription is completed, you have an outline of the class to help you identify the key parts of that recording. So let me jump into a recording that we've already done to demonstrate that to you. So this is an example of another class that a student's been in. We've got the audio, but now we've got the full transcript of the class that the student can go through. A student can click on their notes, and that will take them to the exact point of that class, and they can press play at any time, and it will read out the transcript line for line. We also have the outline feature as well, which outlines the key parts of that class. Students are also able to annotate slides. So by clicking through to the slides, you're able to add any highlights to the text, areas of importance. If you want to add any additional text notes, you can do. Great for if you've got any students taking any STEM subjects in particular. We also have a study tool feature called QuizMe. So clicking into Study Tools and QuizMe, you're able to generate a quiz on the recording itself. So here you can do a quick fire 5-question quiz on the key topics within the class. Here you'll see the 5 questions that have been generated, and then you can choose the answers for each one. And at the end of the quiz, you'll see the results and areas that you need to review. Or if you want to take the quiz again, you can do that. Going back, there's also some other study tools that are useful for students after class. So if I go into Study Tools and go into Reading View, this is a clear version of your notes, which has the slides from the class, but also any notes that you have taken throughout that class. It also includes any annotations to the slides that you have made throughout. You can copy this or print this off and take it outside Genio Notes if you wish. Another suitable feature is our study notes section. Study Notes is available to a number of our customers, and this is the bullet notes options, which allows for students to have a complete set of notes. For any students that struggle to take notes during class, this is a way to provide them with a set of notes that they can learn from and start learning from directly. They're also able to quiz themselves using the QuizMe button just here. We also have the Cornell Notes option, which is a template for students who prefer the Cornell note-taking method. Again, they can use this template to copy and print outside of Genio Notes. Going back to the home screen, it's also worth noting there is a mobile version of the Genio Notes app, which works in the same way as a desktop version. This means that students can record and access their recordings anytime, any place. And both the mobile app and the desktop version sync harmoniously between one another. So with Genio Notes, your notes are captured, organised, refined and applied, so your students are set up for studying from start to finish.